Hey, it's Kim Komando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. So, have you heard of Rufus?
No.
You don't know what Rufus is?
No. I mean, I know of the word Rufus. I know people are named Rufus, but I'm guessing it has something to do with technology that I don't know about.
So Amazon, they have a new AI shopping bot. His name is Rufus. And so you can ask Rufus all kinds of things like, I'm going to a wedding and I'm looking for like the perfect summer dress, or I need Thanksgiving decorations. So whatever it may be. But there's something that it won't give you, and you cannot use this word. And if you use this word, Rufus comes back and says, I'm sorry, I can't help you out. And that word is dupes.
Oh,
dupes.
Okay.
So if you're saying like, I'm looking for like dupe Lululemon yoga pants.
Right.
Okay. You can't say that. So what you want to say is that, Rufus, I'm looking for yoga pants similar to the ones that Lululemon sells.
Now, are the results that Rufus gives you paid results? And so he will recommend. Oh, okay. So then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Then it's useless.
Okay. Well, they're saying that it's not paid results. And they're saying that they're not going to give priority to their products. But call me cynical. Okay. Okay.
Why wouldn't they? It's a revenue source and they get to sell more stuff.
Exactly. But did you just see this transference of intellect and knowledge that just happened from me to you, free of charge?
Thank you.
And to all of our listeners that get the podcast, and to all of our viewers on YouTube. I mean, this is amazing. Where else can you get this type of stuff at this price? Where else can you get it?
Absolutely nowhere.
Nowhere. So that's why you need to subscribe, like, follow, stand on a street corner and tell everybody about Kim Komando Today. I mean, that's what you need to do, right?
We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. Like, just inching towards there. But it's working. We beg and we plead and we tell them about the AI algorithm. And if you like us and subscribe, it tricks the algorithm, the big computer machine in the sky, to make people think we're actually better than we really are. And then we keep getting to do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure you subscribe.
Yes, just hit the subscribe button. And as I said, I don't care. You don't have to watch us.
No.
I mean, you don't have to. No, just hit the subscribe button. Just hit the subscribe button. That's all you need to do. I think we got that point across. What do you have coming up, Andrew?
TikTok is getting into the AI game, and it's better than everybody else.
Ooh, the communist China on TikTok. There you go. Oh, we have a great interview with the gals coming on who was targeted in a deep fake scam that would have cost a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of disappointed people along the way. And before we get to all of that, just a reminder that I'm giving away an iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence built in. And by the way, I have the iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, and Siri is actually better. She is.
Really?
Not that you care, Andrew, because you're still my green bubble friend.
Right.
Which, I don't know, 30% of Gen Zers say they won't date anybody with a green bubble.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a struggle. I mean, it's getting better now. Now, with whatever happened in like the last month, there's a lot of features when it comes to messaging that are there for us Android users. Reluctant Android users, I thought, hey, I'll give it a shot. I'll try something new. Big mistake. I'd go back to Apple tomorrow.
Well, unfortunately, you can't win the iPhone 16 Pro, but anybody else can. You go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right, here are some things that are happening in the tech verse that you need to know about, because after all, we always want you to be tech ahead, never left tech behind. But the big news is that Comcast and Truist Bank, that they were involved in a data breach. Bum, 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 bum.
When did this happen? 2020, 2021?
It actually happened in February. They released some numbers in June, some more numbers in July, and then they came out and said, oh, it's about 7.5 million people, but not necessarily from, say, just all Comcast or just Truist. Is that there's a company called Financial Business and Consumer Solutions. Now, what do you think that company does? Okay, Financial Business and Consumer Solutions. If you were to guess what that company did.
I think if there's issues within financial business, they come up with solutions.
Okay, that's it. Okay, they're the ones that call you and say, if you don't pay your bill, we're going to cut you off.
Debt collectors.
That's what they do. Yes, but they called their company Financial Business and Consumer Solutions. Doesn't that sound so much better than a debt collector?
Oh, absolutely.
So the 7.5 million customers from the FBCS, they had their name, their social security number, the date of birth, the driver's license, ID card, shoe size, whatever it is, all put out there for sale on the dark web. And so if you were in that situation, you got to freeze your credit, watch out for phishing scams, phishing texts, and anybody who's trying to ask you for money.
So whose fault is this? Who had the security breach? Was it this company or was it all three combined?
It was the Financial Business and Consumer Solutions problem.
They need to come up with a solution to this financial problem.
I know. Nightmare. Okay. Oh, hey, if you're a PayPal user, starting on November 27th, PayPal says, we're going to start selling your data.
Oh, great.
On November 27th, anything that you've purchased, your sizes, your preferences, your styles, whatever it may be, we're going to sell your data to anybody who wants to buy it. Now, you can opt out. You can opt out. But the way that you opt out is kind of like, well, let me just tell you. You go to your profile photo, and then you go into data and privacy. Then you go into manage share info. And then you get into personalized shopping. And then you want to toggle that off.
That's not too bad. And should we give PayPal any credit? They waited this long to start selling our data?
You know what? The eternal optimist you are. That is. We ought to give them a round of applause. Thank you, PayPal. Thank you, PayPal. All right. I told you this was going to happen.
What?
I told you, and I hate to say I told you, but I told you that Google search was going to go in the crapper. And now with AI. And so Google search is going in the crapper so that they are now scrambling for every last dime that they can get. So when you're using Google to search something, you're going to get that AI overview. And so let's say that you are searching for like a chicken Pollard recipe or whatever it may be. And so you'll get the recipe. And then bundled inside the recipe are sponsored ads. So you have to be careful wherever you click when you get the Google search.
So now let's say the AI comes up and it has a recipe for, what did you say? Chicken ballet, chicken Ballard?
Yeah, that'll work. Yes.
Did you make that up?
No, chicken Pollard.
I've never heard of it.
It's like, okay, here's what it is. You take chicken. I made it last night. That's why it was on top.
Okay.
You take chicken, 2 chicken breasts or 4, however you want, and then you pound them super thin. Okay. And then you marinate them just in like lemon juice, some garlic, and some wine. Okay. And then you go to, I don't use a pan because we have a griddle. So then you put olive oil in the griddle, and then you cook each side, and then you have like a little presser thing that puts them down. And so it's so good. And then you serve that on arugula with some tomatoes and some avocados with a lemon Dijon dressing.
Okay. Sounds delicious. So if I found that on there and then they used the AI response to do it and they got that recipe from my website or Kim's website, Cooking with Kim, do you get any credit for that?
Nope.
You don't get a view?
Nope.
You don't get any part of the ad?
Nope. Nothing. That's why internet websites are folding. I mean, it seems like there are a lot of tech websites that are going under now because they were all depending upon Google search results. That's why I always talk about NTR. We know what NTR is, non-traditional revenue. So you need to think outside the box, because if your business is only focused and getting revenue from one source, you are SOL. Okay.
But now this may sound like a juvenile question, though. It sounds like Google's just stealing.
Well, I mean, you could say that about all AI bots, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all stealing. They've all taken material from individuals, from websites and scholars, whoever it may be, and then they throw it up there. And very rarely do you get any credit. Sometimes you will see some credit, like now after ChatGPT, it'll put in parentheses like where they got it from. But it's not like you have to click there to go actually see it. I mean, you just have the answer. The internet, as we see it, is totally changing. Speaking of totally changing, Notebook LMAI. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Very rarely do I experience something that totally blows me away, totally changes.
I think
Where
the last thing that blew you away was the images through Meta's AI, where you put in the prompt of an image and how fast it is, how many options you got, and how accurate it responded to the prompt.
Okay, and how long ago was it? Was it 3-4 months?
Yeah, maybe 2-3 months.
So somewhere. So I haven't really seen anything technology-wise where I'm like, wow, this is a game changer. This is something that is going to be used for good and for bad. And again, it's called Notebook LM AI. It's from Google. It turns any written content into a conversation. Anything. So John, our IT genius, I showed him this on Friday, and I'm like, John, you got to look at this. Okay. John sends me back mind blown. Okay. Because John worked with it, and there's a lot of information on Discord about how to use it. Fed it one of my daily tech update scripts about how the internet is free, and how different websites are now everybody's going to be charging because of Google search going away. So I want you to take a listen to what the Notebook LMAI did with my script.
Today, we're going deep on something that's affecting, well, pretty much anyone who reads news online these days.
Yeah, it's a big one. We're talking about how we access news online, and more importantly, who's actually footing the bill.
Exactly. It's kind of wild when you think about it. Only 2 of the top 5 most visited news websites are still, completely free. Think about that for a second.
A big shift, for sure.
Right. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're looking at excerpts from this article. It's called The End of the Free Internet. And let me tell you, it's pretty thought-provoking.
Definitely raises some questions about where things are headed.
It really does.
Yeah.
So to kick things off, let's rewind a bit. Think back to the early days of the internet. Dial-up modems, AOL, CompuServe.
Ah, the good old days. Back then, websites were practically begging people to visit, right?
Totally. It was like a digital land grab. Everyone wanted a piece of this new online world, and they were giving away content left and right to get people in the door.
Right, because it was all about attracting eyeballs, building a user base. The more clicks, the better.
But fast forward to today, and things look...
Now, those are 2 AI bots
Right.
having a conversation using a 60-second script.
That's it? Just 60 seconds?
Okay, that's all.
And how about the ums and the likes and the vocal inflection where he came back with, that's a total personality attitude.
Right.
And that's probably, that wasn't part of your 60-second script, that
Nothing.
the AI decided to attach whatever emotions it wanted, and it was very accurate.
Okay. Crazy. I mean, and done within a couple of minutes. I mean, so there are now podcasts that are going out there. Like one is called like a deep dive or something like that, where they are feeding the AI, the Notebook LM, Wikipedia articles.
That's all you got to do.
So if you want to know about, I don't know, the history of the United States in 1725, or whatever it is, how nuclear chemicals got started, whatever it is. And they're doing a deep dive, and it's these two voices that, in my opinion, I don't know, see if you agree, they sound NPR-ish, don't they?
He definitely did. She sounded a little more natural, little more comfortable delivery. He definitely sounded NPR radio-ish.
Can we play a little bit more of it? Because I want to hear that.
Of when you're handing over your email address in exchange for what seems like free content.
It makes you wonder, are there other ways to support online news without giving up your privacy? Are there other models out there that could work? Like, what about donation-based platforms or even publicly funded news outlets?
Those are all really important questions to consider, and honestly, there's no easy answer. The way we access information is changing rapidly, and as more and more high-quality news...
I am just astounded at the quality.
How long was the conversation based on a 60-second script?
Well, we also linked out to the article.
Okay.
And you tell it how long you want it to be. You tell it, different angles maybe, and you tell it the name of the show. You tell it the stance that you want to take. What is the takeaway at the end? And so you can program this and have it go to breaks as well. Wow. And right now it's just the two voices. Okay. And you can, I was thinking I'm really thinking about, I'm going to try this when we also tried it with pieces of the newsletter, because I wrote a whole top story about Amazon and the different perks or whatever that you get with Amazon, and that they're having the Prime Day sale, I think it was. And you got to watch out for all the scams on the Prime Day sales. And over 1,000 different websites have been just fired up over the last week or so for, let's say, like AmazonPrimeDeals.com or whatever it may be. And when it came time to do that Amazon script, it would not say Amazon. It said word redacted. So I wanted to say Amazon Prime Day, but it would just say it's word redacted because this may be advertising Prime Day.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's programmed to take certain things out, right?
But if you pay, I'm sure that those words won't be redacted.
For sure. So in case you want to check it out, you sign into your Google account. You go to the Notebook LM website, upload a doc, upload a link, whatever it may be, and then just hit generate. And you have your own podcast.
Let me ask you a question, though. If you did decide to do this, let's say you took you turned it into a podcast. Would you be upfront that it's all AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm just curious how you would tackle it.
Because I have been thinking about doing this. As far as, but because I just don't physically I can't do any more than I'm doing right now. I don't like to complain, but I'm working 7 days a week. I'm doing 2 shows a day, 3 podcasts a week, a weekend show, and then I have interviews, and then I'm running a company and all this other, and newsletters.
So you're saying you have the time to do this by yourself? That's what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, but people are asking if they could get a version of the newsletter that they can listen to on the way to work. So I've been trying to figure this out. And so I was thinking maybe this might be something that we might want to try.
The newsletter podcast?
Maybe just take the top story. I'm not sure. What do you think?
It sounds cool. Why not the whole newsletter? People's commutes are going to be longer than that. You could have each story broken down into maybe 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, I could do that. And then we need to have some advertising in there. I'll have to figure that one out.
I think it's amazing. You're right. This technology, what we just heard, is absolutely amazing.
Hey, it's Kim Komando today. I'm so glad that you're joining us. What do you think, Andrew?
It is Kim Komando today. I'm glad you brought up the name of the title of the show.
Redacted because of advertising. Oh, man. Now, this is not the Kim Komando show, no. By the way. If you want the Kim Komando show that's on, I don't know, a gazillion radio stations with 6.5 million listeners every single week, is that you want to go to wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K. Komando with a K. You know, the reason I was hesitating, I was thinking that I just heard last week that Stitcher was going down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I heard that they were going out of business.
I use Amazon now for my podcast.
Do you? You like it?
I do. I like it. There's a couple of them that are commercial free because they have deals with Amazon. That's nice. The podcast app on Apple, say what you want. It was great. It did a really good job of organizing all the podcasts that I was listening to. And since I switched to Android, I had to find something, and now I'm using Amazon, and I really like it.
Okay, just because you're on Android doesn't mean like you start dissing everything on iPhones and Apple.
I didn't. I just complimented
it. You're getting that too. No, you're getting that tooed. I don't know why you need to do this. Every once in a while, you have to go down this path, and it's like, oh, well, this sucks, and this is yeah. When before 6 months ago, you were totally loving it.
I made a mistake, all right, and I'm paying for it every single day.
Oh gosh, I don't know. All right, Lauren Albrecht is the president of Florida Title and Trust. Okay, she's so smart. She was handling the sale of a vacant lot when things just didn't quite add up. And Lauren's here to tell us the story. Hello there, Lauren.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
So you're handling the sale, and for everybody, let's just start from the beginning and tell everybody what a title company does.
Awesome. That's a $1 million question. Nobody knows what we do, so that's great. As a title insurance company, our job is to reduce the risk of homeownership for both the buyer and the insurance company as much as possible. So we do research to find out who's the property owner, anything that they could have done in the past that would adversely impact the property, and eliminate those risks so the new homeowner can buy the property, free and clear of any issues, and God forbid something was missed or there was some sort of fraud done in the past, the insurance would step in and pay that claim to protect the homeowner.
Nice. Okay, so you are handling the transfer of a vacant lot. And what was the first red flag that you noticed, like there's something wrong with this transaction?
So this particular piece of land had been owned by the same woman since 1978. And when I looked at that deed of record, she purchased the property. Her mailing address was in the Bahamas. And currently on the property tax roll, her mailing address is still the Bahamas. So the driver's license I received of the person purporting to be the seller was from West Virginia. So that didn't really mesh well for me.
And then what did the real estate broker say? Oh no, like she moved or anything like that?
No. As soon as I started asking the real estate broker questions, they got a little weary, saying, the seller did just only reach out to me via realtor.com. So maybe there's something going on because we've never had any real communication. That was the huge red flag for us.
So you get this first red flag, and obviously you want to do something about it because you're concerned. What are the steps that you can take?
Right. So we have a few different platforms that help us research the information we receive. We can upload an ID to verify its authenticity. We look at the phone numbers to make sure they match. Now, the interesting things that happen here is the information that was provided to us was true and accurate information. The date of birth, the social security number, all of that information matched. The thing is, in title and most states, there's no identifying factor recorded. So no social security number recorded on public record. It's just a name. So there are many people in the US and across the globe that have the same name. So our job is to actually prove that it is the same person. The ID that was being provided to me was of an Anne McCartney, but just not the same Anne McCartney. And the ID was fake as well.
Oh, wow.
Destroyed.
And so I understand like you had a video call. How did that start?
So anytime that we have any suspicion of a homeowner not being legitimate, or if we know that the homeowner is not able to come and be in person, we require a proof of life video. So the whole concept of that video is we're going to jump on a call and you're going to show me your driver's license or your passport. And we're going to see that it is in fact you. So when we had these suspicions, of course, we're in the job to do closings, so we want to do closings. We don't want to kill deals. So we were very hopeful that this was in fact a real person. But the antennas were already up. When I sent the Zoom link, I actually did not anticipate getting any response at all because of the intuition that we had. So when I got the request, it said, okay, I'm ready to go on Zoom. We were shocked and a little bit hopeful again. Then I sent her this Zoom link and somebody logged in, but it definitely wasn't a person.
It looks to me as if it was a looped video of a older woman who was just sitting there for maybe 10 seconds, and then it just kept going over and over. I think we have the video that we can play right now.
Margaret, if you can hear us, can you raise your right hand, please?
Margaret can't. She's deep faked.
Exactly. So it's interesting because you see in some parts the mouth moves. So if somebody was saying, oh, I have bad connection and speaking while this video was playing, you could be tricked. As well, this woman had stated, I'm hard of hearing. So at the same time that we were speaking, I was typing in the chat, asking her to raise her hand. And we were also sending text messages to say, hey, can you raise your hand so we can see that it's you? We need to see your ID. And we just kept getting the same video on loop.
Now, you are so smart. You did a reverse image search, and then you found who this woman was, right?
Yeah, so that broke my heart. The reverse image search is of a woman with a similar name. Her name was Margit, and she was reported missing in California. And the photo used on the ID was from the missing person flyer.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's so sad.
So they're trying to capitalize on a missing person's identity, knowing that they won't be active, knowing that they can't freeze their credit, they can't do things to prevent something like this of going forward.
Correct. Exactly.
So if a person owns a parcel of like vacant land, because I seem to be hearing more of these instances with vacant land more than homes itself. Do you have any insider secrets on what that person should do? I'm raising my hand because I own land between Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona.
And she just raised her hand, so you know it's her. This isn't a deep take video.
Exactly.
And there's nothing there. There's no power. There's no water. It's in the portfolio as my son's great grandchildren may be able to profit from this land at some point. What do you do to make sure that this doesn't happen to you?
That's a great question. One of the things that we've seen is that this fraud is not happening on property that's encumbered. So with a mortgage, obviously most vacant land is not with a mortgage. So what a lot of people have been doing is having, their own entity record a mortgage in the property, just so there's that level of protection that it is not free and clear, making the title company have to obtain a satisfaction of mortgage or a payoff. So it's just an extra paper letter to create an unclear title.
I've never heard that before. You know what? That's a great idea. That's a great recommendation. I'm going to do that. That's super.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
In your experience, have you come across, this is pretty desperate, doing a 10-second video loop of some missing person to try and get this sale through. Have you come in contact with any other scammers in the past?
Oh my gosh, scammers, definitely. We've had instances with wire fraud where I've had a buyer in my office signing, this was like a $7 million property, and all of their funds had been in escrow for days. And they received a phone call from somebody with a very American accent, perpetrating to be an employee of my office, telling them we need to change the wiring instructions for them to send almost $1 million.
Oh my God.
So that one was pretty scary. Luckily, Our office has not fallen victim, and none of our customers have fallen victim, but that takes education on our part, to stay aware of what scams are happening, and then to inform our customers from the time we go into contract of the different types of scams that are happening.
Well, Lauren, thanks for being here. And thanks for helping me out too. This is awesome. I'm gonna make sure that I take care of that this week because, we always want to leave a legacy for our great grandchildren. Okay.
Is that land somewhere near Mesa, Arizona?
Oh, I wish it was near Mesa. I mean, this land, to let you know, so we had to pay the taxes on the land. And so I said to my husband, we haven't been down there. We haven't seen this a lot. I mean, with this land, we need to go. It's like acres and acres and acres. And I said, I just want to go make sure, maybe some squatters, maybe somebody even could have built a house on there. We don't know. And so we get in the truck and we drive for about an hour and 15 minutes south of Phoenix. I mean, you're going past Casa Grande, you're going past Coolidge and Eloy. So we're standing there and there's a dirt road. Okay. So, and I had to do longitude and latitude to figure out where we were. And so as I'm standing there and it's 120 degrees beating on us and it's just flat as can be, not even a cactus, nothing, just flat land. And as we're standing there, tumbleweeds go right in front of me. And my husband looks at me and goes, "Satisfied? Happy now?"
So that's interesting. That's exactly why the vacant land fraud is more prevalent than homes, because if you have a home, you're likely collecting rent or the neighbors. So when somebody starts the fraud, it's very noticeable because there's people. Otherwise, they're for sign in the front yard, etc. But on vacant land, most of these properties have been sitting there for a long time, and you're not going to know that the property was stolen until you go to pay the tax bill and it's not in your name.
Well, I'm going to handle that this week. So if anybody's listening to Scammer and you think you're going to get some really valuable land between Phoenix and Tucson, I'm going to fix that. I'm absolutely going to fix that. Hey, Lauren, thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much.
And that was Lauren. She's the president of Florida Title and Trust. So if you're in Florida, you should be using Lauren's company.
Only you. Only you bring on a guest so you can have your personal problem solved.
Why not? Oh, here we go again. Here we go again. So you got to give me a little shot, see what happens.
Who's going to be on next week? Your dentist?
Hey, it's Kim Komando today, and we have a new thing that we're doing. It's called a voice memo.
Oh, yeah.
Voice memo. And that's where you can just say, "Hey, Google, I want to do a voice memo." You can say, "Hey, Siri." Ooh, don't.
Yeah, you just set off everybody's phones. Way to go.
Sorry about that. And mine too. You want to do a voice memo, and then it just pops up, and then you record your question, and then you send it to me. Okay, to podcasts@komando.com. Podcasts@komando.com. You also want to say your name and where you're from, because this way we can play that on the podcast, and not just I get some people say "Well, Kim, my printer doesn't work." Okay, I can't help you with that.
Why?
Okay?
Why aren't we playing that right now? That sounds like a great voice memo.
There you go. And then some people are thinking, Andrew, that they can just email me their question to podcasts@komando.com. No. That's not how it works. This is for voice memos only. Voice memos only. And so again, just, between say a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, that's always a good length. Podcasts@komando.com. All right, what do you got going on?
Can you tell me what spider dance is?
Spider dance?
Yeah.
That's when these companies will go out and they try to figure out, and they just grab all the data wherever they can.
Right. But Spider Dance is the internet scraper owned by the parent company ByteDance, which owns TikTok.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't know that that was like a company that they owned. But you can do something like with the robots.txt file,
Right.
if you wanted to.
So what's happened in the last 6 weeks is people have noticed that the SpiderDance web scraper has been highly active, and they are tracking it. And they have learned that their internet scraper is 25 times faster than ChatGPT. 25 times.
Okay, 25 times. Oh, I mean, put that into perspective. Everything that you have in the bank right now is suddenly worth 25 times more.
Overnight. And you're the richest man in the world because ChatGPT is one of the most powerful and influential AI chatbots out there, and you're 25 times better. And they are scraping the internet at a furious pace. Experts believe they're trying to catch up. They're trying to get to the level of ChatGPT when it comes to stored information. ChatGPT is about to go live real time. They're going to be able to answer questions like, I want to go see a movie tonight. What time does the movie start? In real time. Right now, they can't do that. There's a finite time that ChatGPT and most of these chatbots have where their information, their knowledge stops. But when I was looking at the article about this, I actually found something really interesting. That ChatGPT, other major chatbots, including SpiderDance, do not follow the rules of the robots.txt file when it comes to scraping the internet. It didn't have any more details about that. What are these rules that nobody's following?
Okay, so if you don't want certain parts of your website to be indexed by Google,
okay,
or indexed by Yahoo or Bing or, Start Page, wherever it is, okay, is that what you do is you put the scraper or the index or whatever you want to call it, every website on the root directory of that website has what's called a robots.txt file. Okay. What it does is, let's pretend that this is your house.
Right.
Okay. And so you would put on certain doors, do not enter. Do not enter. So that robots.txt file says, I don't want you to index certain, like maybe not the message boards, a members only section, whatever it may be. And so you can also say in the robots.txt file that I don't want you, ChatGPT, to scrape my website or to get any information off my website. Although I don't believe that they adhere to it, but in theory, you can do that.
So what you're saying is that like a search engine like Google will go to your website and you have the do not enters, and the Google respects that and they go, okay, we're not even going to go in there. Or we may go in there and collect all the information, but we're not going to make it visible to everybody through our search results. What this article was saying is that ChatGPT, the other big metas, and this SpiderDance, they just blow through those doors and take all that information.
Correct. They don't care. They just go in and take anything that they can so that this way they can steal, basically. They can steal copyrighted material because it doesn't matter to them because it's communist China. And I can't believe that they haven't already indexed everything on the web. And now it's just coming out that they are doing it. Who busted this story?
They were just monitoring the traffic because Dubao is basically the Chinese ChatGPT. It's a low-cost AI chatbot that is, again, trying to catch up using this scraper, and it's just working a mile a minute trying to get all the information.
So is there anything we can do about it?
No.
Right?
No, we can just monitor it. We can just monitor and see what they're doing.
Okay. So it's kind of like you can just like watch your kid, and if the kid's doing something wrong, you can't do anything about it.
You can shake your finger. You can stand in the corner of the room and shake your finger, but it's not going to change at all anything that's happening.
It's funny. I had this chat with my niece last night because she is a 4-year-old.
Okay.
And she was telling me, like, he just doesn't listen. I'm like, you have to discipline him. You have to put him in timeout. And she's like, well, I make him stand in the corner. I said, you need to make him turn around. And so he can't see anything, and then put his nose in the corner. His nose has to be in the corner.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do that to China and ByteDance by banning TikTok. But then we're like, he's so cute, though. He really is adorable. I don't know if we're actually going to do that.
I know. And 170 million Americans use TikTok every single day. Imagine if we put that brain power to do something else other than scroll.
We won't.
No. We won't. Hey, it's Kim Komando today. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, make sure that you enter to win that brand new iPhone 16 with Apple Intelligence. I know what you're saying, that you really don't want it, because what you really would like is the iPhone 16 with Kim Intelligence. I know. So you hit that button and suddenly I'd say, hi, how are you? You look awesome today. You're so handsome. Well, not to you.
No, of course not.
No. So anyway, go to winfromkim.com. Once again, winfromkim.com, not win2kim.com, not win whatever, just winfromkim.com.
Got it.
Yes.
How many times have you seen an article about a big company, big tech company, and they want to be carbon neutral?
So many.
Right.
I think it's all part of their mission statement.
Right.
Seriously.
But it's not. In reality, they don't care. They're just trying to win these political brownie points and make everybody feel all ooey gooey about them being carbon neutral. But now,
meanwhile, they're flying around in their Gulfstream.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just pen and paper. It looks nice on a letterhead, but they're not really trying to do anything about it. Well, now they don't care anymore, because with these AI chatbots and the amount of power that they are using on a daily basis, I think the estimate is in the next 5 years, and I don't really know about power usage, but it's like 35 gigawatts. Is that a lot?
Yeah. I did an article about Bitcoin mining.
Okay.
And it was in the newsletter the other day, because there's this town a small town in Texas that used to be like a big oil town. And now they're trying to like bring some money back into the town. So they're taking like 265 acres and they're going to make it like this big Bitcoin farm.
Okay.
And everybody's ticked off because it's like, oh, it's going to use so much energy. So I don't know if this helps, but to put in perspective, to mine one Bitcoin takes 340 kilowatts per hour.
Okay, so that's a fraction.
That's just one.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's that amount of power is something like you and I would use together for 6 months.
Right. I think the city of Miami is like 1,000 kilowatts per day for the entire city.
Yes.
So that's a tremendous use. And these AI chatbots are even more. They're going to use more water and energy than anything we have on planet Earth right now. But it's going to make money for these companies. So an ex-Google executive has come out and said, yeah, we're not going to be able to be carbon neutral. And those, the goals that we set for ourselves, they were way too lofty. But we have a new solution. And the solution is we're going to use all this power to get AI going. Then we'll ask AI, how do we fix the problem? And it'll solve it for us.
Isn't he brilliant? Isn't he brilliant? Now, one of the things that they're not talking about, and I don't know whether he mentioned this, is how noisy these data centers are.
They didn't mention that. That would hurt the stock price. Why would he bring that up?
Okay, so if we're talking about the environment, that you have to realize that it's not just how many water bottles are consumed with every chat GPT answer, which is anywhere between 3 and 5 water bottles or whatever it may be. It's also the sound, because people who live near these data centers, or if somebody's like this town in Texas, like everybody's like ticked off. They're like, we don't want to have to hear this because it's so loud. We have an excerpt. I think we got this from Time Magazine.
Okay.
Where you can actually hear the buzzing sound. Listen.
I want to hear it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, did you hear it in the background?
Yeah, it was like a dull roar, but it was a constant dull roar. And those were just computers mining for Bitcoin?
Yes. And so it's a noise. It's like a almost like a white noise you hear nonstop. So there's never any silence.
I'm sure you have, but I remember the first time I ever went to Chicago is that I landed in the plane, got in the Uber, went to the hotel, quickly went upstairs, got all the bags settled, went downstairs, sat outside to have a lunch, and then I realized how loud it was. And it's so much louder than Phoenix, which we're a big city, but we're wide, we're not tall. And I couldn't hear my partner. I couldn't hear my child talk. It was so loud. So if you're in a community like this, where you're used to the peace of the outdoors, that's got to be so loud to them.
It is. It's loud.
It's noise pollution.
It's noise pollution. And any big city has it. New York, Chicago, Dallas, like you said, and Phoenix, Phoenix is relatively quiet.
I agree.
It is. Not as quiet as Tokyo. I will tell you that. Tokyo, for a major city, they actually have decibel ratings outposted outside buildings. And with a sign that says, if it's louder than this decibel level, you need to tell us. And the decibel level was like 25 or something like that, which was like quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
compared to most big cities,
construction site. So from a Google executive, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to use all our power because don't worry about the environment. Once AI is up and running, it'll just tell us how to fix it.
For sure. I think that's before it doesn't kill us first.
What if its answer is stop using AI because it's using too much power?
It's not going to kill itself.
That's
it's going to kill us. It's going to say, you know what? You need to move. Okay. Occupy Mars.
Have
Go
you
ahead.
thought
Go
about
to Mars.
going to Mars? Exactly.
Going to Mars.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.